India just lost an ODI series to Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka, and that too pretty badly. The win margins of Sri Lanka continued to expand with each successive game. And the big cause of concern here is that this was the very second last ODI series. These were the last three ODIs prior to the last series that India has just before the Champions Trophy of 2025 in Feb. So after this, India's just played three more ODI games against England, and right after that is the ICC Champions Trophy. So the way the team has performed, the shape in which the team is in right now, that is what has really worried all of us. And you know, what really struck me is the fact that Virat Kohli, the finest batter of our era and one of the greatest batters in the history of ODI cricket, if not the greatest in the history of ODI cricket. He not only got out to spinners in all the three innings, but he got LBW in all the three matches, and that shows that somewhere there's lack of practice against spin. I don't mean to say that he's not practicing enough or that his technique has some issues. Of course not. He has the best technique in the world, but the fact is that somewhere these batters of the Indian setup have been playing the very same spinners for a while now, for a few years, which is Ravindra Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, but they have not been playing a diverse array of spinners, which is required, which is why there were calls about the top players trying to play domestic cricket, which we did expect, but in the Duleep Trophy squads, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli do not feature. So I think in the next few months, they have to really bring in a lot of younger spinners, different spinners like leg spinners, left arm leg spinners, and different kinds of spinners, you know, in the nets and play them, because the more they play a diverse array of spinners, the more they'll be equipped to handle the spinners. Because the way the team batted in Sri Lanka, it was very, very disappointing. It was scary, and Shreyas Iyer also, the batter who's been considered the best player of spin in India, also looked clueless along with the other batters. And it was just Rohit Sharma who was firing from the top. Every game he used to come and smash the ball here and there. But right after that, we saw a collapse because the middle order was exposed to the spinners of Sri Lanka, who I think the Sri Lankan spinners weren't exceptional. They aren't the best in the world, but they certainly are above average. And they did their very best, which was good enough to dismiss all our batters again and again. And you know, this is the same Sri Lanka where India is likely to play its Champions Trophy games. India is not going to travel to Pakistan, right? So where's India going to play its games? Most likely in Sri Lanka, in this very same conditions. So the batters have to quickly adapt to the spin. The batters have to play a lot of spin in the nets and in the run up to the Champions Trophy to be able to do well. Now, I have a few suggestions on what the team could look to do in the next few months in order to be more ready for the Champions Trophy. The first thing is that if you look at the Indian cricket team schedule, on 3rd January, the team plays its last test match against Australia in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. 3rd Jan to 7th Jan is the test in Sydney, which concludes on 7th. Thereafter, the team's next international game is on 22nd Jan. Against England, and that is a T20 series. So the T20 series will feature players who are not part of the ODI setup as such, right? There's just Hardik Pandya and Jasprit Bumrah who can easily be rested and they can be kept with the ODI side, and a younger side can be sent in for the T20 series, while this side gets to play a 3-match or a 5-match ODI series against Australia in Australia. That will be a very good practice for this side. I really hope that BCCI is able to manage that after 7th Jan. A 3-match or 5-match ODI series against Australia. That will be very good for Australia, for India, both. Though there wouldn't be a lot of spin, on offer over there, but then you get to play the 50-over format. The bowlers can adapt to bowling 10-over spells because they have been bowling just 4-over spells in the T20 format. The batters too would be able to adjust to playing longer hours of cricket. Bat out the 50 overs, get to a good score there in excess of 300. Those are things that you need to get into the habit of doing, and I think if the BCCI is able to manage that kind of series in Australia, while the younger set of T20 players return to India and they continue playing the T20 series with England, I think that'll be very good practice, because thereafter Indian team will play just 3 ODIs against England at home in spin friendly conditions. That'll be the perfect practice, and then the team would be more than match ready for the Champions Trophy in Asian conditions. I think that's all for today, and this is what I feel should be the way forward. Indian team would be ready. I'm pretty sure these are all very experienced players. They've played in all conditions across formats. Just one series here and there, we need not worry as much. I think they will really come back very, very strong. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.